So in this video we will be doing the Portswigger labs about the broken authentication. So you can Google search for broken authentication Portswigger labs and you get this web page, and you can go click on this authentication labs. So here you can see these are password based labs. So let's do these labs. First one, user enumeration where different responses. So they have given usernames and passwords for list, and I have copied them into usernames.txt and passwords.txt. So the one good thing is they use same word list for all the labs. So click on access the lab. So click on my account. Here it should ask you for login. So copy this URL. I am using the Firefox because I have set my proxy in the Firefox. So username, let's try admin, and admin, click on login, and it says invalid username. So this is one of the poor coding for the web server. So the thing is, the web server should not reveal whether it's invalid username or the password. If it reveals like invalid username, then the attacker puts the constant password and varying username to brute force the valid usernames. After getting the valid username, then he will put the username field as a constant value, and then varying password he will try to brute force the credentials. So the web server should send a message like login failed or login error. So it should be like generic message instead of specifying the exact error whether it's username or password. So okay, let's grab this in the burp, intercept on. So admin and admin. So click on login. Sorry, admin and admin. I did not choose this proxy. Click on login, and you should see the request. So send this to repeater and send this to intruder. So the username is equals to admin and password is equals to admin, and post request to /login. So click on intercept off and let's go to intruder. And here first what we are going to do is clear all the markers and add the marker to username. So you can say admin 123. So we need to put the payloads. So let's copy the usernames and click on paste. Now you can start the attack. So the length is 3290. You can see invalid username contains 8 characters and password contains 8 characters. So the word username and password contain same characters. So we should not depend on the size of the length. So you can close this one. So we will be writing a simple Python script for this. So let's copy this and import request. So we'll be using the request module to send the request and receive the response. And URL is this one. So paste the URL. Now the thing is, we need to extract all these names from this usernames.txt. So you can use open function. File descriptor is equals to open of usernames.txt and open that in the read mode. And you can say word list is equals to fd.read and fd.close. So if you print out this word list, so you can see we get in a single variable. So to iterate over this, what you need to do is you need to convert this single variable into list. Let's say usernames is equals to list of word list dot split. So what I am doing here is I am going to split each and every line. So you can see in this single line we have only one word, that is Akamai. So this is one username. So whenever I tell to split, it will split according to the new line. So I need to specify here /n. This is the new line. Now if I say print of usernames, now we can see we got some nice list containing all of the usernames. So you can see there is an ending empty element because there is a new line at the end of our file. So in the same way, what you can do is you can just copy this one and paste here and simply change the passwords.txt. So let's print the passwords. So you can see we got two lists that containing usernames and the passwords. Now we can easily iterate over these and send the requests. So first let's create the data. So this is the data we are going to send in the body of the request. So let's say data 2 is equals to username is equals to admin. So we need to send in the dictionary format like key value pairs. The keys are being the parameter names and the values are being parameter values, and password is admin. So let's write a simple for loop for this for I in usernames. So first we will be finding the valid usernames because it says invalid username. So what you need to do is you need to modify the username for every iteration. So I can just say username is I. So for every element or username in the usernames list, it will be putting the value in this data too. So what I can simply do is r is equals to request.post of url comma data is equals to data2. So post of URL and the data is specify this data to be sent in the request. Now we will be receiving the response, and what we need to find is if invalid username does not contain in r.text. So this r.text is the response received from the web server, and in that we are going to find the responses which do not contain invalid username. So that's why I have used the if invalid username not in r.text. Now I can say user found. So I can simply say dot format of I. So this I value will be placed here whenever it is going to print this line. So let's revise again. First we have made two lists that contain usernames and the passwords. First we are iterating over the usernames and putting in the username field and sending the data. On receiving the response, we are checking if the invalid username not in the response. Then we can say that username is found. So let's run this. And also remember we have kept the password thing as a constant because for now we are finding the valid usernames. So you can see we got the one valid user alterwind. So let's copy this and put that in our comments. So for now we are going to iterate our passwords, because we have found the valid username that is alterwind, and now you can simply remove the password value and put the I. So we'll be sending alterwind and every password they have given in the password word list. Now what you're going to do is we need to change this one. Let's go first and let's say alterwind and say test password. Just simply type random and click on enter, and it says incorrect password. So the error message is incorrect password not in the r.text. So then that means password found for the user is alterwind comma j. So what I am doing here is I am putting the two placeholders. Whenever it is going to print this, the alterwind goes into the first placeholder and the j value will go into the I value will go into the second place order. So it will be like password found for the user Arterwind is the result. So you can just run this one. Okay, it took time and we got the result. So let's copy this and try to log in. And it already says congrats, you have solved the lab because we have already sent the request. Let's try to log in Arterwind and paste this, click on login. So we have successfully logged in. So this is about the first lab with the different responses. So the responses are different for username and the password. So let's go to the second lab. So meanwhile we can copy the same code up to here, just extracting the usernames and the passwords into the list. So admin and admin, let's capture this. Let's first try login, and it says invalid username or password. So that means we don't know whether the username is correct or password is correct, or username is wrong or password is wrong. So in this case we need to brute force the two fields at the same time. So capture this, intercept on, click on login and send this to repeater. So copy the URL and let's say URL is, so I have already brute forced this one and the credentials are Akamai baseball. I think these will change according to the I think these labs are dynamic, so it picks randomly. In previous exercise we got if I had done the AD is the correct user, but when we have done again, when we change launch the labs again, the username has been changed to Arterwind. So that means these are the dynamic labs. So if you try, you may get another result. So don't worry, it will be right result. So let's construct the data to username admin and the password admin. So here what I want to brute force is both the username and the password fields. So what I can do is for I in usernames, and for every username I want to brute force every password. We can just say another loop for j in passwords. So we can also do this with the intruder. Send this to intruder, and we can clear all the markers and put these two markers for the username and the password values. Click on add. Now we need to change this to cluster bomb, I think. Yes, cluster bomb. So cat usernames.txt. So you can copy this and paste here, and for the second payload we need to choose the passwords.txt. So this burp soup will take so much time. So copy this and paste here. So both the payloads have been set. So let's start this attack. So the default length is 3384. So there is a length 3400. Okay, that's because varying username. Why you are getting so many different responses? Okay, let's keep it like this and let's go to our Python script. So what you need to iterate, the username first and the password next. So I usernames, j passwords. So now we can simply send the request dot post of URL comma data is equals to data 2. Okay, now what you need to filter from the response, invalid username or password. If invalid username or password not in or the text, then print credentials found dot format of I comma j. So I think this took me forever for the first time I have run this script. So what we can do is we can also use wfuzz. So wfuzz is also one of the fantastic tool. Okay, it's let's close this one. Copy the URL and the data. So the wfuzz may be faster, so let's say fuzz2 and the username is fuzz1. Okay, at the fuzz1 we will put the wordlist usernames.txt colon fuzz1. So this means these values will go into the usernames place, and we can also specify passwords.txt colon fuzz2. So the usernames goes to username field and these passwords go into this fuzz2. I think this should do fine. So now hit enter. I think syntax is correct. We need to separate the colon and the first two. So let's Google this. F of first two parameters. So we have already got the credentials. Akamai Sunshine. Let's also see where we are getting wrong. Let's say fuzz1 comma fuzz2. So this is taking usernames.txt colon fuzz1 as a single file name. Yeah, we did correct. uh, I think we need to put this http mode cluster bomb. I don't know, so let's try, give it a try. So we can stop this and let's go and try this one. It says already you have solved the lab because we have just sent the correct credentials. And we got successfully logged in. Okay, you can Google about this FUF. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using WFS. Sorry for this, my bad. So what we need to hide is hide the string with invalid username or password. We are getting so many. So let's change this to, I think, FR. Okay, I'm not getting the correct one. Filter according to regular expression. So we missed this -w. I think by now we should get the Akamai and Sunshine. Filter according to the lines 86, 87. So that's about this second lab. Let's do this response timing. So I did not get this answer correctly. So here what the concept is. So first, if there is a correct user, you send the credentials like admin and admin, and if there is a admin user in the database, then the web server tries to validate the password. So this password validation takes some time because it will hash the password and it will fetch the another hash from the database and checks the both. If both are same, then only you get the access. So this process will take time. If the password if the username is wrong, so it will obviously does not check for the password. So this small delay in the response will understand us that if the username is valid or not. Here they have given the credentials winner Peter. So let's access this lab. So meanwhile, let's copy all this. Click on my account. So you can see we got the Akamai Sunshine. So you can filter using this redirect. So if you submit the correct credentials, you get the redirect. So you can also filter according to the status code. So admin and admin. So it says invalid username or password. Now what we are going to do is, first we are going to say URL. So this is the actual URL, and so send this to repeater. So copy this message request data. So now let's construct this data to username admin, password admin. Okay, r is equals to request dot post of URL comma. I think there is some sort of filtering. I think the web server blocks our IP address. I think so. Let's first check that. Send this to intruder. Admin and admin, add the placeholder payloads. Just enter some payloads to increase the payload count. Now click on start the attack. Here you can see 3291 3344. So it says you have made too many incorrect login attempts. Please try again in 30 minutes. So we have got the rate limiting. So I will show you how to bypass the rate limiting. So one way to bypass the rate limiting is using the X forwarded for tag header. So this is like a source of origin. So this tells us the web server that the request is coming from the local host. So it thinks that the same computer is sending the request and it will not block. So let's start this attack. And 3291 is length and 3344. So this 3344 again we are still getting rate limited. So here you can see incorrect, too many incorrect attempts. So now what you can do is we need to brute force this one also. So you will have 127.0.0.1 to 127.255.255.255. So all these addresses are localhost only, not only this single one. So we will be taking advantage of this one. So first let's say URL comma data 2. Instead of admin, let's say winner, or let's first say admin. And I'm going to use the module called time, import time, and also we'll be using import random. So first what we can do is t1 is equals to time dot performance counter. So this will give you the time from the starting of the script. So let's say up to now you have completed the 10 seconds. After sending the request you get the response, and here we will find the T2, time dot performance counter. So basically if you want to know some lines of how much time some amount of code is doing, you can put these two lines and you can subtract these two values to get the exact time this line of code took. Okay, now we are going to print off time took is dot format of t2 minus t1. So we will see how much time the username and admin has been took. So it took 1.05. Let's also print the actual content to be sure that we are not getting that try again in 30 minutes message. Okay, we are getting the 30 minutes message. Now what I am going to do is we need to say headers is equals to I'm going to introduce a new header, that is x forwarded for. That is we have used it in the burp suit, x forwarded for. So here what you need to do is 127.0.0.1. So this IP address will only work for 1 or 2 requests, and then this IP address also gets rate limited. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say dot format of, I'm going to randomize this one. So I will explain this. Randomize, import random dot randint. There is a randint function, so you need to define lower limit and upper limit. So I can say 1, 100, and it will randomly select the number from the 1, 100. So run this multiple times and you can see we are getting the random number. So what I'm going to do is dot format of random dot randint of 1, 255, because 255 is the maximum for any octet. So for every request we are sending, it will be like 137.0.0.1 or 50 or 60 or something random number. So you can also delete this 0 and you can also randomize this one. All you can do is simply copy this, put comma and paste here, put comma and paste third time, because there are 3 placeholders we are placing in the 3 octets. So that's why we are going to generate 3 random numbers and putting them in these headers. Now what I want to do is I want to include these headers in our request. I can simply say data is equals to data 2, we did not send this, and headers is equals to headers. I can say headers 2. Now if you run this, so now you can see we did not get that please try again in 30 minutes message. We got the invalid username or password. So you can see the time took is 0.89. So better run this multiple times. 0.82. So so it's like less than 1 second. And now let's change this to the winner Peter, the correct credentials they have given for us. So if you want to brute force like in a real-time website, you need to create an account, so then you get the correct credentials. So using that you can estimate the time. So if you send this request and see, you can see it took much more time, 1.6 seconds. And if you run this and you can see it is generally taking more than 1 second or 1.5 seconds. So you can, if you know like machine learning, you can actually build a model based on these timestamps, and you can estimate the minimum time required for the valid response to receive for us. Okay, so we know that if the username and the password combination is correct, we are getting like greater than 1.5. So this, let's use this to our advantage, and will be for in usernames. So first we need to enumerate the valid username. Okay, so let's also try this for the correct user and the wrong username. Sorry, for the correct username and the wrong password. Let's run this and see the time it takes, 0.92. So 1.12. So it's more than like 0.85. Okay, this is where we are getting some. So first let's try to brute force the usernames. If it did not work out, then we have to brute force both at a time. So that's why I don't highly recommend to depend on this method, because this method also relies on your network speed and the internet traffic. So if you say winner true and Peter 2, So it is also taking like around same time. So that's why what I can do is, you can say usernames for j in passwords. So what you can do is, you can just copy these headers and the data, so that we don't need to rewrite. So we got the randomized IP address, and we need to just simply rename this, change this to username is equals to I and password is equals to j. R is equals to request dot post of URL comma the same actual data to and headers to. So we can also say time 1 is equals to time dot performance under counter. So let's say T2. So we know that valid login took more than 1.5 seconds. So if T2 minus T1 greater than, let's say greater than or equal to 1.5, so check these credentials dot format of I comma j. Okay, we have successfully built the script. Let's go and run this. So it's gonna take time, and I did not get the correct response. I did not get the correct credentials because I got few usernames, but for them passwords they have took the same time. So that's why I could not find the right combination. And you can try this one. Okay, so it's gonna take very much time. And we got some credentials, Akamai and computer. So maybe let's go and try those. So it still says 30 minutes. So that's why we get some false positives, because we are simply basing on the time or the response. So you give it a try.